Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. It's Antonio coming again with another episode of Thus Said the Lord unto me, so such as I have, give I unto thee. How y'all doing this morning? This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. This time, I figure I'm going to make this video early in the morning before y'all start speaking everything that's in my head before I can get it out. Even the video that I'm still going to release because of the little stuff that I was saying in the process of it. I heard, somebody basically just took that whole message and said it already, except for the little stuff that the Lord gave me. And that's why it's interesting to me that the Lord gave me different points of revelation, because without that, I feel like I wouldn't have no identity. I wouldn't have no point and no purpose. Not to say that we all don't have purpose. Of course, y'all. The people that I usually follow are mighty in the land, even if you don't know it. It amazes me that a spirit can, well, not a spirit, but the Spirit of God, when it's poured out upon His children, we are almost in cadence and to sync, to where there's certain things that I can be enduring over here, and I may be feeling it, but I'm not expressing it, and it be expressed over here from this person. It reminds me of a song came out years ago. I want to say it was I'm pretty sure it was Lauryn Hill back in her Fuji days. It's Killing Me Softly, and it reminds me of the song because of a point in the lyrics. It's like it's killing me softly with his song, and telling my whole life with his words, killing me softly. Hold on. Okay, yeah, okay. How you go? One of the lyrics says, I felt he found my letters and read each one out loud. I can't remember all of it, but anyway, that was one of the lyrics in there. It's the idea that we are first. Well, see, I guess this is where we're gonna go with it. All right, Lord, I hear you. We are living epistles. Living epistles read by men. So there's a correlation in that before I formed thee in thy mother's womb, I knew thee and ordained thee. When from the foundation of the world, when we was a thought in the mind of God before we were manifest into I guess it'd be manifest into reality or Farisha, that's one of my words. I don't like using that word, but in that, continually in that motion, or in that vein, we're gonna continue in that we are also a word. We are a word that He has spoken, because we are the living epistles. So that means we are like Christ. We are a word made flesh. So, with that same understanding, His word will not come back to Him void, but it must accomplish that which He purposed it. So some of the things that we go through, we are just going through to get to the place that he's called us to, because we have to do that. We have to get to that place, even if we have to walk on water to get there. See, because that was the point of the walking on water. He told the disciples to go to the other side, but his purpose was so important to the Father that in that the miracle must manifest. And yesterday's deal, I had to dig back in there, because I was sure of what I was saying, but I know I didn't explain it very well. That is what I was explaining was an equation. The equation is of the 490 is an equation of 430 plus 70 more. All right, and these are the times in which Israel was put into captivity, slavery, one in Egypt and one in Babylon, and both instances is the total. So that total is an understood statement that they understand, but we in our Western society don't. So it's like me saying we've been oppressed for 400 years. Who I say that to understand. And not this generation. This generation don't know nothing about this, but but it was understood for that generation. They understood exactly, people, of my complexion could understand that. So it's like code word. So that's basically what I was referring to. So ultimately, that is a reference to what is considered Jubilee. Jubilee is the time in which all debt has been paid. It's also a representation of 50. So when you see, do I go there? Do I touch that? Lord, I mean, nevertheless, you giving it to me now, so I guess we talk about it. So Jubilee is representation of 50. It is a time that we were supposed to. It is a time of completion or completed work. I'm not going to go all the way into Jubilee. You can look that up for yourself. But it's a break in the all debts paid. Basically, it is all debts paid. Like for instance, we have a bankruptcy in the United States, and after you file bankruptcy, I'm not going to say bankruptcy. After you have, after a debt has been on you for, I want to say 7 years, it's supposed to drop off your credit, which is equal to what we should have in our society as debt relief. In those days of Jubilee, which I'm explaining this really bad, but in those days, Jubilee meant that if you were in slavery, because this slavery wasn't the slavery that we got to know over here in the Western society, which every nation should be ashamed of themselves to sit and watch us endure what we endured. I won't go there, but I did. It was indentured servitude. So if you own slaves, or in that sense of indentured servitude, or if they owed debts and owed against their property, or they had the ability at that point in Jubilee to redeem all that was owed and be free from the debt. That was the beauty of it. It was like it was you get the pass go, collect your $200. I know I feel like I'm doing it again. I feel like it's a whole hack job on trying to explain this, but to whom it's for is for. I will probably go I will go in depth into this unless somebody, wants to run it back. But if no one runs it back before the end, then I may go into a little bit more deeper explanation. See, because these are conversations, I can't really expound into certain stuff, because this is set up to be a conversation. It's set up to be light. And being that I'm 11 minutes in, this was supposed to be something quick, but I just wanted to touch bases with my YouTube family before y'all get to telling all my business and be out here in my war room, in my prayer closet. God is good, and He is faithful, even when it doesn't seem like it. We have to know that He's moving behind the scenes in areas in which we could not fathom, like the master clock maker. I like to look at it that way, because it means that everything is in its precise position at a particular time, in its exact time. So for me, the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord means way more than just happenstance. It means I am in my direct place at the exact time in which He's placed me, and there is nothing outside of that or can interrupt that. Even your own personal desire will. Now, you will have to go through sometimes that point of learning your lesson. I think I made a mention. See, there's a lot of videos that I haven't dropped, so there's some things I haven't even said that y'all ain't heard. I might be speaking about them and ain't realized whether or not y'all even heard them or not. But I said in one video, which I don't know if I released it. I might not have released it. That I'm kind of scary when it comes down to my father. And it isn't that I don't believe grace is there. It's that I understand that there are learning lessons. There are lessons to learn in the process. And if you don't get it, if you don't understand the lesson, you get to repeat the grade. I don't know about y'all, but the one thing we don't have is time. That's the one thing you don't get back is time. Time and seasons are in His hands. Like I said, master clockmaker. I prefer not to repeat, not to buffer in the wilderness, because they went around and around and around and around. And like I said in the previous video, it was even though the journey only took 11 days, it's the representation of transition or process. Is really transition. They were going around for 40 years. It was a generation cycle that had to be removed. Which there's a whole bunch to that could, stuff that being understood about that is, is the idea of that is I hear so much when it comes down to certain stuff. So it's some stuff do I say and some stuff do I not say. Some stuff that was a little gory. The idea of the circumcision itself, the cutting away of the flesh, especially in from the male perspective. But that generation was cut away. It was not needed. I don't know. That this is what this is how I move. Anyway, pours in, I pour out. So that's what it is. And but yeah, so that 11, it's again, like I was explaining before, it's another equation. And you notice that he didn't allow us to go straight into, I say us, but he didn't allow them to go straight into the promised land, because there were giants in the land, but there were nations that they were not able to overcome. And had they seen them or had they experienced them, they would have turned back to Egypt. So it wasn't. It was almost like he wasn't going to allow them to go anyway. Okay, so again, this was already pre-known, predestined. He already knew this. So he already knew your process. He already knew that you wasn't going to be able to get it. You didn't get it the first time. He already knew that you loved that knucklehead so much that you was going to go back to him and have to learn the hard way. Again, the same lesson that you learned the first time. Because the reality is that that's a lesson that you need to learn, and you didn't learn it. So you went back in process to learn it again, like they say over in across the ocean again. Anyway, that's it. That's all. I'm just talking. Y'all have a wonderful day. Be blessed. Pray for those who are enduring or who will experience the hurricane. Pray for them. That God's hand continually be upon them. And y'all have a wonderful day. Be easy. Be blessed. You blessed in the city and blessed in the field. Your uprising and your downset. Anyway, I love you with the love of the Lord. Until next time.